Hello, I'm Major Simpson, JROTC instructor, Red Bank High School. Today's lesson will be from Foundations for Success, the Personal Growth Plan. Think about factors that affect job stability. That is actually a very key thing to think about, especially in this day and age. It used to be that folks could get hired onto a job and reasonably expect to retire from that job after many years of service. These days, that's no longer a guarantee. It's a very competitive market. All right, so here's the first question. A learned ability to identify, experience, understand, and express human emotions in healthy and productive ways is called. Is it A, book smarts, P, people smarts, C, intelligence quotient, or D, emotional intelligence? Well, let's see what the right answer is. Emotional intelligence is the correct answer. All right, what we're going to see next is the student learning plan. Before I go further, this will be the second assignment for the week. First assignment is going to have to be to read through the chapter, which I'm including in Google Classroom, just as we normally do. Write down the definitions in your own words, and then answer the review questions at the end. So by the time you see this video, you should have already done that. So you'd have a pretty good idea what it is we're talking about in this video. Here's the student learning plan. Match key emotional skills to relevant skill dimensions. Develop strategies for growth in 2 emotional skill areas. Plan self-directed development activities. Define key terms: adaptability, assertion, change orientation, deference, emotional intelligence, intrapersonal, and persistence. All right, let's look at some of these questions. Have you ever looked for a job? Most of you have already had jobs, but these are part-time jobs. I want you to start thinking about what it is you want to do once you graduate from high school. What factors, positive or negative, do you think might affect job stability for you, your friends, or your family members? A lot of factors go into this, including what you do and what others do. Has anyone you know ever had trouble getting and keeping the kind of job they believe they want? Think about possible reasons for this. Some of you have also experienced that firsthand. You've seen people, they get hired, but then when they get there, they don't do what they know they're supposed to do, and they either lose that job or do very poorly at it. And their hours are reduced to the point where they just go ahead and quit. What qualities do you think an employer needs in a reliable worker? Put yourself in their position. If you're an employer, what would you be looking for? All right, brainstorm factors that impact a person's to get and keep a job. Getting a job is only half the battle. All right, here's some reasons. I'm going to include this handout in Google Classroom. Look at these items an individual has control over and the things that they do not. Here's some easy ones. Smile, looks, manners. Those are things that we can control individually. I've told you in the past, the only choice anyone truly has is how they choose to react to their situation. So, reason 1, we control, correct? Let's look at reason 2, education, knowledge, experience. We gain that over time. We have some now, we're going to gain more later that will make us more valuable. Reason 3, commitment. That's something we definitely control, correct? We either have commitment or we don't. And if we don't, we're usually relieved, and someone who does have commitment is put in our place. And then look down there at stress management. No one here has stress, right? Of course we do. We have stress. You just have to know how to manage that. And there's more there, and I want you to look at all of them. Which of these factors or activities include skills you have already developed? And then which ones might give you some trouble? Those are the ones that I want you to think about working on. Think about the examples and ideas you generated during the inquire phase. That's part of that worksheet we just looked at. This is a personal growth plan worksheet. I'm also going to include this as part of Google Classroom so you can look at it. Look on there, you're going to see skill dimensions, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then parts in there and things that you need to develop, strengthen, and enhance. A lot of this is going to be pulled, by the way, off of the personal skills map that we're going to do. So this won't make a lot of sense until we do the personal skills map. Some of it may. Some of you may already know where you stand on some of these things. But the numbers we're looking at here are where we're going to pull off the personal skills map, so they work in tandem with each other. We're not going to jigsaw because, as I said, you've already read through the chapter. There's no need to do this. All right, match your emotional skills in your topic to the items listed under Reason 3 or Handout 1. We're not doing this either because, again, you have already read through the chapter. You've done the work. You've done the definitions. You've answered the questions. And you should know what we're talking about. A lot of these things should be very familiar to you by now. What is the difference between intrapersonal skills and interpersonal skills? Take a look at A, B, C, and D. A, intrapersonal skills are those that occur by yourself. Interpersonal skills are those that occur with others. Intrapersonal skills mean between two others. Interpersonal skills mean between a group. C, intrapersonal entails positive self-talk, while interpersonal entails cheering others on. D, there is no difference between these skills. Let's see what the correct answer is. It is A. Intrapersonal skills are those that occur by yourself. They're within you. Interpersonal skills are those that occur with others, between you and others. You're a platoon leader. Cadet Kent is one of your squad leaders. Even though she writes and speaks well, she seems to have trouble communicating with her squad. Today you saw her assign tasks to squad members who are very busy, while other cadets had nothing to do. Cadet Kent doesn't seem to sense or understand their feelings of frustration. What key emotional skill would you recommend she focus on as part of her personal skills plan? A, decision making, B, drive, strength, motivation, C, empathy, or D, interpersonal aggression? Correct answer is A, decision making. As you can see up there, she had some squad members that she was leaning too heavily on and having to do all the work, while others sat around and watched the work happen. That is a decision making issue. What does this information have to do with you personally? Each of us are strong and weak in some areas, so we need to have a plan to develop ourselves to maintain the strengths that we have and then improve the weaknesses that we uncover. Which skills are you most interested in learning about right now? Well, that depends on what it is you want to do. So look at what your goals are. How do these fit in? How can you get stronger towards you reaching these goals? Think about what you know about assessment tools. We've done quite a few assessment tools. Remember, assessment is nothing more than a test. In this case, you're testing yourself. We do this twice a year because I've said this before. We change all the time. You don't stop changing until you're dead. So each year you're going to change just a little bit. Your winning colors, your personal skills map, all of that changes over time. That's not a good or bad thing. It simply is an is thing. All right, the success profile I'm going to go through very quick because I know some folks are still confused what it is they're supposed to do with this. This is the success profile, also known as the personal skills map. I have a copy of this included in Google Classroom. This will be the last assignment due this week. So the first page is your name, school organization, date. Blue or black non-erasable ink. That will not change. Then I recommend that you either use erasable ink here or pencil to fill in these. So let's take a look at the very first part. Situation. You're going to have a situation with some numbers underneath it. So we'll deal with the very first one. When I'm really angry with someone, I usually feel some tension, but comfortable in expressing exactly what's on my mind. Is that M, most of the time you, S, some of the time you, or L, least of the time you? So I'm going to say, for me, that would be some of the time me. So I would take this one, and then I put it over in this box. And I got to do that for every answer down here. So a number comes across and fills each box. So when I'm done with the first page, then I got a total. Now there's not going to be a total on every page, but when there is, you got to total those blocks. Now notice what we have here. There's a piece pointing at each box. And that won't be on every page either, but it is on this page. So when we have this total of box, that's going to equal our total score for interpersonal assertion. Interpersonal aggression for column B, interpersonal deference for column C. So let's go down to the second page. Again, we got more boxes to fill. This is going to take a while. Believe it or not, this is the short form. Then we have the totals from part 2. Again, this comes up with self-esteem, empathy, and personal awareness. And we come down. There's more boxes to fill. But look, these look like they're different colors. There's more of them. Why? Because we've got to take these totals and carry them to the next page. So let's look at the next page. See? And you take the same totals you had here, put those numbers here. They're going to add to these boxes here. We climb on down, and there it is. It's the totals from the top of this column, and everything here will equal the grand total here. If you forget to carry these totals down, your numbers will not be accurate. And then here's where your sales orientation leadership comes in. Drive, strength, motivation, decision-making, time management, change, orientation. We keep going. There's still more. Again, we've got to carry these columns to the next page. And there they are. So you take your totals here, you put those same numbers here. Then you total again to the bottom of this one. Then you got stress management, physical awareness, and commitment ethic. Then we take it down. Here we come at the actual map itself. So let's take a look. We got self-esteem. What do all these numbers mean? You got 1 through 12. Let's go up to the top where we found self-esteem. All right, there it is, self-esteem. So whatever number is here is the number we're going to carry down to that box. So let's go down to that last page again and take a look at it. So self-esteem, we're going to say, in this case, we got maybe a 5. So if you have a 5, well, there's no 5 on there, right? There's a 4 and a 6. So what I would do is I draw a line between 4 and 6, and that's kind of a graph I'm making. So that shows what level I am in self-esteem there. So that's going to be an area to improve. And you'll see that as you come down. Notice the very first piece shows this is things you need to develop. In the middle is stuff that you have strengths in. You're pretty strong in those. And then in this, if you're this high in a score, then that's just things that you can enhance over time to make yourself all the more strong. And so when we're done, it's going to look like a little bar graph coming all the way across. And that will be the final piece to this. Again, this will be the last assignment due to me this week. For some reason it gets hung up here, but the little wheel of death should disappear and give us the next slide. And there it is. All right, you are a platoon sergeant. Some cadets and one of your squads complained that Cadet Hill, their squad leader, asked for their input to help make decisions, but then dismisses their ideas as stupid and useless. The cadets even said that he said, "Don't think you're going to get me fired by making me look bad with your ideas." Cadet Hill seems confident and always seems to get assigned tasks done on time, but you have noticed a lack of motivation in his squad lately. So you ask to talk to him. What should you say to him? A. Cadet Hill, your squad is talking bad about you, so you better get them in line. B. Cadet Hill, I want to help you improve your commitment ethic skills. C. Cadet Hill, I want to help you improve your decision-making skills. D. Cadet Hill, I want to help you improve your interpersonal aggression skills. Correct answer is D. He clearly has some issue with interpersonal aggression skills. You can see up there where he says, "Don't think you're going to get me fired." That's interpersonal aggression. He needs to work on that. Jonah, a freshman cadet, is an excellent student who gets straight A's. He knows all of the drill movements and commands, and he always performs well on individual tasks. He thinks that because he is technically proficient, he should be in a leadership position. The instructor and some senior cadets told him that being technically proficient is good, but he has trouble relating positively to other cadets, so he has to develop his communication and interpersonal skills before he gets promoted. When he complains about their decision to you, what should you tell him they are trying to do? A. You know a lot, but they're trying to help you develop your emotional intelligence to help you become a good leader. B. You know a lot, but they're trying to help you develop your interpersonal deference skills to help you become a good leader. C. You know a lot, but they're trying to help you develop your stress management skills to help you become a better leader. D. You know a lot, but they're trying to help you develop your drive, strength, motivation skills to help you become a better leader. So let's see what the correct answer is. It is A. They're trying to help him develop emotional intelligence first. He knows a lot. He's very knowledgeable. He has a lot of technical proficiency, but he needs to develop his emotional intelligence before he can be put in a position of higher leadership and responsibility. Craig's success profile showed that he needs a lot of improvement in time management, stress management, and physical wellness. He also needs to improve his self-esteem and interpersonal assertion skills. He was overwhelmed at first, but after 6 months, his JROTC instructor commended him for improving in all 5 areas. Which of the following key emotional skills most allowed Craig to improve in all of these areas? A, time management, B, stress management, C, physical wellness, or D, change orientation. If we've read the chapter, we'll already know that it is change orientation. He improved in all 5 skill areas. So that means he was willing to change. He oriented himself toward that change. All right, so when you're done with the skills map, this is where these questions come into play. Do the results of the skills map make sense to you? Do you believe the assessment is accurate and a true reflection of how you behave in actual life situations? If we do not answer this honestly, then the answer to this is going to be no. That's why I had told you, you have to make sure that when you fill these things out, it's not what you want others to know about you, it's what you know about yourself. You're assessing yourself. Of the skills you need to develop, which areas do you see as most troublesome for you? Those are things you want to work on. Which skills, if developed, would have the highest impact? It depends on what it is you want to do after you graduate. Think about ways you can develop the skills that you need. What one skill do you want to work on? There's a lot of things we can work on. That never stops changing until, again, we're gone from this earth. Until the day that we die, we can constantly improve if we choose to do that. If we choose to take a skill and try to work on that skill, then we can do it. If we choose to ignore that, well, then the skill will never improve. What one skill have you already developed? Something that you're relatively strong at that you want to continue to improve over time. Find out what that is. This tool will help you get there if you use it properly. All right, performance assessment task, in this case, is nothing more than that personal skills map. That's the last part that will be due. So 3 things that you're going to need to do this week. Read through the chapter that I have in Google Classroom. Put the definitions in your own terms. That's called paraphrasing, so that you understand them, make sense to you. And then finally, on that, you're going to answer the questions and the review questions in your own word as restated questions. We all know how to do that. B, you're going to review this video, and then you do a short write-up about what it is you learned from this. It may be nothing more than 2 or 3 sentences that you post in there to show what it is as a reflection of what you learned. And then finally, the personal skills assessment map itself. And then you're going to scan that back in. You can use your phone, get a PDF scanner on your phone, and scan those in and put them in there so I can look at them. Because I'm interested in seeing what your success profile or your personal skills map shows about you. Because it's going to change. And I can use that to help me determine where my next leadership is coming from and then where I need to help you develop the skills you need to become even a more effective leader. All right, that's all we have for today. Thank you for your time.